Dak Shune Keu na Ashe, তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো।
We are now with the founder of Shishur Sevay, Dr. Michelle Harrison. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to Ellisha TV.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, please explain us and the viewers especially, what is Shishur Sevay?
Shishur Sevay is a home for orphan children, and it's a home based on the model of a family rather than an institution. And the children, some of them have severe disabilities, some are fine, and we live as a family, which is a very normal situation. I mean, families have a whole range of members, some with disabilities, some not. And I started it to create a model of care of how I actually think the government should be caring for children who are orphaned, children who have disabilities.
Right, right. So, a renowned psychiatrist of the United States, leaving everything there, settling in Calcutta, and catering to the children of Calcutta, which maybe we should be doing or the government should be doing. Like, why and from where?
Okay, well, why started actually in 1984. I adopted a baby. She was 2 months old at the time, and I raised her in the U.S. And even at the time, I thought, well, what happens to the children who are not adopted? So when my daughter was grown and really she finished university, and I have an older daughter, a biological daughter, she was on her own, I basically packed up. I sold everything I had in the U.S. and I came here to start a home for the children rejected for adoption, the children that nobody would take. And so I wanted to create a model outside the institution and say, and do for kids here what I could do for my daughter in the U.S., what many adoptive parents did, because we don't have that sense of hopelessness. So the other part of the question about, that I'm asked why Calcutta, the kids here are like family to me. They're the relatives of my daughter, so that makes them relatives of mine. So I don't feel like I've come to a strange land to take care of other people's children. They're mine too. I share the burden, I share the responsibility, and I want to change basically how the government takes care of these children and provides for them.
Right. How was your experience up till now? All bed of roses?
Oh, a bed of thorns, the rose thorns with the flowers in there. It's been really one obstacle after another. I have a wonderful life. It's hard at times, but as lives go, I'm pretty fortunate in the world. The other thing I think that is really unique is the bond between my older girls, who turn out to be the ones more abled, and the children with disabilities. Their love for each other, their compassion, their acceptance is really beautiful and not something I had anticipated.
Jodi Tor Dak Shune Keu na Ashe, তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে।
You have been dealing with child psychology for quite some time now. It has been
all my life, really, because I worked professionally. I worked in a group home. It's got to be in the late 60s. The prevalence of violence in everything, in media, in news. I think parents find it harder to figure out how do we protect our children? How do we raise them safely? How do we tell them everything's going to be okay? Right? It's a harder sell. It's a harder sell to the parents. I know here at Shishur Sevay, I feel like we're a hideout. We're this little oasis.
So what do you think the mode, style and content of the education system that we have in place has anything to do with this, degrading flow of morality and
Well,
yeah.
one problem is that the educational system here does not teach kids to think for themselves, to question the morality of the people around them, not allowed to question what they're reading. So here there's much more of, in the educational system, of being taught you only think a certain way.
This is Ganga.
Hi Ganga.
Today she's being very mischievous. And this is Moni.
Hi Moni.
She's very obedient, but she's very reluctant to speak in English. She's not in her mood today. She's not reluctant. She's reluctant to study today. I don't know why. She's being naughty, but otherwise she understands everything. Yeah, and she responds really well.
But if the same piece of education is provided, say, in a way of a comic or in a way of an educational game, as a teacher, what do you feel? Will it appeal to the students more? Or
of course.
It would.
Yes, and especially to the visual learners, it would be a great thing for them.
Right.
And even to the to other learners as well, they would like it because comics is always fun. Yeah.
And at least here it doesn't feel like we're serving them well because we're not teaching them to think on their own. We're teaching them to memorize and repeat back whether or not they understand it at all.
Any message for the world?
We have to figure out how to live with each other without killing each other, how to share this beautiful earth. I mean, this beautiful home of ours.
That was Dr. Michelle Harrison, founder of Shishur Sevay, with cameraman Surojit Naskar. This is Souvik Ganguly reporting for Ellisha TV.